just on a small scale. It's a large scale. Should we maybe re-strategize?
These things happen. I think one of the things that we need to take a deep look into is what happened. You know, there's also a story behind it. But you'll find a lot of hackers or criminals out there will, one, either do that for malice, just to say, hey, you know, I can do this, or there was some information they actually really wanted to do that. They wanted to gather from those websites, and so they will actually hit a DDoS or hit their databases so that they can have some information, or just for the sake of, you know, telling them, hey, we are out here and we can put your website down, try and catch us.
All right, I want us to go back to what we were discussing before we went on the break, and you particularly said the person next to you could be your weakest link. We are living at a time where people are working from home, so devices are coming in and out. Not forgetting nowadays, majority of what people use is their phones or their tablets. So then how do we protect ourselves?
One, as I said, I think we need sensitization. We need to sensitize our companies. We need to sensitize our organization. We're in a culture where it's bring your own device to work. So you have your cell phones, you have your laptops, you name it. And you'll just go home with it, hop into a neighbor's Wi-Fi. Who knows if that neighbor themselves is a hacker, and they'll plant in a malicious code in it. As soon as you come into the office, it hops into your network and, you know, it executes. We have seen so many stories of that kind. What I will advise, one, is most institutions, they should scan all these devices when they come into the organization. What I mean is, if you are going to step out of your company or your workplace with your laptop, with your phone, tomorrow when you come back onto the network, have systems that will be able to scan your devices to make sure that they are secure. Number two, let the people know that what the do's and don'ts. I think the best word we use is the do's and don'ts of IT world, of the cybersecurity. Things that you're not supposed to share around, things that you're not supposed to be plugging in your work environment on your laptops. Those are very critical points when it comes to securing your environment.
Now I'm curious, just a few of those do's and don'ts. Maybe you can just give us some.
Let me talk about what I see a lot here in the country. You'll find people, you know, we went for a wedding, you went for someone's graduation, and they want to send you pictures either through a flash drive or sometimes just, you know, let me have your computer and I'll just download them for you. Such things are not supposed to happen, especially if this is your work laptop, you know. Maybe give me your phone and I want to hop onto public Wi-Fi. Now, public Wi-Fi is a little bit tricky, especially if you're doing some heavy transactions or you have some personal and sensitive data. What happens in such an instance is that someone is able to sniff what's happening, the packets that are passing through the public Wi-Fi. You go to, say, a coffee restaurant. You know, you want to have a cup of coffee and you want to work at the same time. So what you do, open up your laptop, hop into the public Wi-Fi, and start, you know, typing in the stuff and connecting to your office. The person is sitting next to you, the person who is sniffing that network, will be able to piggy hop onto your network, onto your laptop, into your office. And they can cause havoc and damage just by that. For you, you may not really know that there's a person who is trying to sneak in, but that's how they do it. They kind of sneak in through the back door because it's a public Wi-Fi, and you have no idea what the person sitting next to you with a laptop is doing.
Is there a way to protect ourselves from this? Because let's be honest, people will continue using these public Wi-Fis. So then how best can we protect ourselves even as we use them?
My best bet or my best advice would be, if you know you have some very sensitive information in your laptop or in your phone, just hotspot from your phone to your laptop and work from that, rather than just hopping into the public Wi-Fi, because that is not advisable. Best thing, just get your phone out, hotspot it, and you're safe.
Okay, finally, Colonial Pipeline is hacked using compromised passwords. Once again, the issue of password pops in. But even the shockest bit is that the US recovered millions in cryptocurrency. What does this mean for cryptocurrency in general?
That's a whole new conversation altogether. It was quite interesting because the way we understand the criminal world is they like using the cryptocurrency for them to hide their money because sometimes it's not that easily traceable. But we find that the FBI at this point have come up, or they have devised a way that they are able to get the key and retrieve this money. Now, when you talk about ransomware, you'll find, again, this might not be the case that happened to them, the Colonial Pipeline, but you'll find that you might find someone who came in with a compromised device to their network, or someone who opened an email that was compromised. And just by that, the entire network was compromised, and now they are being asked for ransom to open it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Shortly, briefly, the last question. Passwords. How often should we change our passwords, and what exactly should we need to do or incorporate to make them strong? Because most of the times you type in a password and you're told weak or, slightly strong. So what exactly needs to be done?
Rule of thumb for me, every 3 months, change your password. How strong is your password? I like to tell people, because we have our own Swahili or your mother tongue, use a word that is not common out there. Don't use an English word, and also add characters and numbers on top of it. So if you have a Swahili word with the numbers and characters into it, that's quite a strong password sometimes for someone out there to really think or guess that, because we find that most products come with default passwords and username, and there is a whole database of passwords and usernames that hackers out there try to use to see if you're using any of them. So for us, we are at an advantage where you can use your mother tongue, you can use Swahili and numbers and characters, and you actually have a very strong password. But also make sure that you change it every 3 months.
All right, thank you. That's a very good place to end it, and I've taken note. Thank you very much, Sam Washira, a cybersecurity expert, for that. But moving on, as leaders of the Group of 7 Rich Nations, G7, meet this week in the UK to discuss major crises, Global Health Agency is calling for increased investment in research and